Let's go.
Good. Well, I'm not going to say good evening, Canada. That's not even right. I got to come up with one for this history one.
For history, yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, I got to come up with a greeting for that. So, hey,
The
everybody.
Bears. The Bears.
I'm
Let's
being
go.
boring. Hey, you got nothing
We.
good?
What's up? What's up, CW? Hot Wheel and Eddie. What's up, buddy? He's
What's up,
going to be
everyone?
up here in a minute if we can get his stream yard going. We are talking toys today, guys. Let's go.
There it is. I was wondering, wait a minute. Where'd all the comments go? I clicked on the wrong damn thing.
Who doesn't love toys, right? Shit. I like toys.
So yeah, we're short a man
I gotta
today
switch that up.
because
Yeah, buddy
Scott couldn't
He's
make
got
it.
some stuff he's got to do today, but I'm sure he'll be back next week.
Yep.
Same time, same channel.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
Say hello to Canadian and
Hello.
Maja.
Maja. What's up, Maja? What's good?
So
Deanne Boster. What's up, Deanne?
Hey, what's up, Deanne?
Diane. I think it's Diane or Deanne. I don't know. How you doing?
Please put it up phonetically so we can do this properly. So
what's a new friend down there? She waving at us.
That's what I'm gonna have to represent for Scott. So
okay.
We're doing a very piss poor version of the English accent, just to make sure that Scott's represented.
There you go, Eddie.
You'd kill me.
There you go, buddy. Click that link. I'll get you up here. I got you, Marcia.
So.
Oh shit! I still, my brother still has all of the toys we had when we were kids. We call it the toy room, his bedroom.
My brother had it. Oh, hold on for a sec here.
Video games.
Triage. Hold on, I got to do triage with Misty.
Oh shit!
Bang my elbow. Bang your elbow.
That's so yeah, right, Misty. Thank you, Marcia.
Wave. Put your hand on screen. Wave. Yes, this is the most you get of Misty. So Misty says hi to everybody.
That's all good. That's my girl, Misty.
Oh.
Let's go.
So
let's go.
I believe. Let me see if I can.
Deanne's still waving at us. What's up, Deanne? Do you know, I used to have G.I. Joes. That was kind of my thing back in the day. I had the aircraft carrier. Can you believe it? And we beat the shit out of it. Like, I mean, not like on purpose, but like it was played with, right? Like, shit broke off, pieces got lost. I don't have it anymore, but that thing's worth a mint. Some of these old toys, I couldn't get over. I was looking it up. Some of them have, prices. Oh, there's Hot Wheel and Eddie. Look at these. I love the shades, dude. What's going on, man?
What's up, bud?
What's happening? Yeah, we're doing our thing. Okay. Can you hear us? Oh yeah, we can hear you. There you go.
Well, no, we got to stop and let him talk for a second. He's got can't get a word in edgewise.
Can you guys hear me though?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can see you.
All right.
I think.
What's good?
I think this is my first chance meeting Ed. So.
Yeah, Ed meet Jason. Jason meet Ed. Country Cupboard. Let's go. Scott couldn't join us today, Ed. He sends his love.
Yeah, I've seen Jason before. I've seen Jason before, and I got to say he's very knowledgeable about a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, Jason's my go-to.
I know a little bit about a little bit.
Hi Doris, how are you, sweetie?
Hey, Doris before us. So, by the way, I know it's not the right show for it, but Misty and I have both tested negative to COVID now, and we spent the morning wrapping up the packages. They should be going out tomorrow.
Beautiful.
Everybody. So, Doris, yours will be on the way. We'll give you your tracking number.
Yes.
And everybody else is, well, the ones that are going by postal, we won't have tracking numbers for it. So.
I don't know how to.
But we'll have a couple going out. So that's the catch up. Y'all don't think we left out or we reneged on you on stuff. We just did not want to send stuff that was tainted while we were COVIDified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TMT collectors in the building, guys.
What's up, TMNT?
I wonder what he collects. I don't know.
Looks to me like we're talking pizza, so I'd say pizza. So,
Okay, guys,
all
I'm
right.
I'm getting a bad echo. What should I do?
Do you have YouTube running also?
Yeah, I think so.
You
You
might
want to
want to
mute?
turn
Yeah,
YouTube off
you want
or
to mute
mute it.
YouTube.
Yeah, just mute it. You don't have to turn it off, but then you won't get the echo. Let's go.
And if it's the good echo, it's kind of like being at a baseball game. Now batting seventh, Manny Ramirez. Ramirez.
Okay,
CW
okay,
collects
okay. I
diamond
think
dots.
I think I got rid of the echo now.
There we
Cool.
go. Doris says hi.
Now, if you guys haven't seen Hot Wheel Dad, he's kind of like a connoisseur of Hot Wheels and like older toys. But the man finds these deals like these
And there went Chris.
cool.
He's in, he's out.
He's always got something cool to show me. It keeps disconnecting. Hang on, I'm gonna just turn my.
And there he goes. He's
Is that
frozen.
better? What's up, Donna?
I don't know.
But yeah, he finds deals. He's always got something cool to show me. So
Hey, Donna.
now he's gonna show all you guys, which is cool. It's excited. Welcome.
Cool.
Sweet.
All right, well, let's get this rolling.
I don't know what.
Here. We're doing
All
a show
right.
today on the history
No, I'm
of
still getting an
toys.
echo.
So,
I got
basically,
everything shut down.
what is a toy? A toy is basically it's a plaything for an infant or a child. The earliest versions were things like dolls, um, things that had either a human form or an animal form to them. And
I can't. I can't.
I'd love to tell you that they're recent, but no, we're gonna go back
There.
a ways.
I don't know.
The
I've
first
never done this.
objects that we found, or the earliest objects we found in digs or whatnot, are going from Samaria, and they date back to about 2600 BC. So that's like way the hell back. Long time for you millennials. It's a long time before electronics.
Oh
You
yeah.
had, you had to do things where you had to be creative.
They made stuff out of rocks and sticks and shit,
Yeah. So
stuff like that.
now, as far as the earliest written anything goes back to actually Greece. I know a lot of people would have said China because China was early on in the world. But no, it actually goes back to about 500 BC in Greece. Now, here's the fun part, and I'll give you a second
Lawn darts.
to post your guesses. At 500 BC in Greece, does anybody know what they wrote about? What toy they wrote about? Believe it or not, it's still a toy in use and for sale today.
Oh
So
wow.
anybody, if you've got an idea, put it out there. And yeah, lawn darts. That's
Yeah, I'm getting a bad echo.
That
I
was-
can't.
that was-
I can't make sense of what everybody's saying.
that was
Uh-oh.
the toy that was guaranteed to put you in diapers and eating pureed food for the rest of your life.
Bottle rockets. We were dangerous.
Well,
Kids are wrapped in bubble wrap nowadays.
yeah, the toy, believe it or not, that we're talking about was a yo-yo.
A yo-yo, really?
A yo-yo, and believe it or not, they were made out of three things. They were made out of wood, metal, which would have had to have been something like copper or bronze,
Yeah.
and terracotta. If you're not familiar with terracotta is what you see. It's basically what the clay pots are made out of.
It's like clay, right? Yeah.
Baked clay. Now, the yo-yo was invented in China earlier, but there's not anything that's really written about it. There's another one that was real popular in China as a toy, and that's the kite. And
What's
that
that
was
Spitfire, Ivy? The kite.
they're figuring invented around 1000 BC.
Oh wow.
Yep. And then in India is where you're talking. They had clay animal figures on wheels and other toys that were toe behind, and that was about 2500 BC.
So
So
China had the very like earliest
Okay, I
stages
got
of
it
like
now.
flight and lift and stuff. Like they figured that all out with a kite in 1,000 years BC. That's crazy.
yeah, so
Okay,
the rest of us were going for simple stuff. They were going for the things that you had to use physics with. So
That's
yeah, they
crazy.
were a little ahead of us with that. So
I think I
What's
think I
up,
got it
bud?
figured out now. Can you guys hear me now?
We can
yeah,
hear you, bud.
sound better.
Okay,
Welcome
I
back.
got rid
Sound
of
much better.
it took me a while to get rid of the echo. I figured out what to close.
Oh, it's just me and my booming voice, right?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk about old school toys. How about board games? What's
Board
the
games.
Oh,
Let's go.
what's the oldest board game do you think
That
maybe?
I can think of. I'm gonna say like chess or checkers. That's something like old school, but like the oldest like new age one I can think of is Monopoly. Everybody knows Monopoly.
I'm
I,
gonna
I I would think, and there's so many different versions of it now.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say either something like Go or chess or checkers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's chess.
it's
Yeah.
chess. That's got to
Yeah.
be.
And you know what? I googled it. It's just out of curiosity. Where do you think it was designed or originated from? Like where?
Somewhere in Asia. That's got to be like a Chinese thing or
Yeah, I'd have to go with Chris on that. I'd have to say China.
Yeah, I was thinking myself Roman, that kind of idea. It was actually invented in India
Okay.
1500 years ago.
wow, India.
India.
All right, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then it went from India to Persia, which Persia's no longer.
Yeah.
And then it went to the Muslim world, and then it went to Europe via Spain and Italy, and then it went worldwide.
Huh.
Holy shit.
Yeah, see, Persia, that makes sense. I'd forgotten about Persia because you're right, it doesn't exist anymore.
No, that's right. Yeah.
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 Yeah. So yeah, chess. Actually, my dad taught me to play chess when I was about maybe 11, 12 years old. And he also taught his grandchildren, my nephew and niece, to play chess. And
Oh wow.
it's such an amazing game. It's simple, but it's so strategic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. So
I don't know
And
what
then
Senate is.
and then checkers was much later on, and I think that was in England. It was invented in England, and it was called drafts. And then it came to Canada. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's in the U.S. now, but
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Chess is everywhere. What is Senate? You guys know what Senate is?
I've heard of it. I've never played it.
They're saying that's the oldest board game. That's Spitfire and Donna said. I don't know. I've never heard of Senate.
Yeah.
That's
and then
crazy.
so somebody mentioned Monopoly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
so
Monopoly.
it's show and tell time, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
let's go.
Okay.
Show and
Oh,
tell.
goddamn cat sitting on top of it.
Yeah, but she wants to play around. 3,500 BC Senate came out. Wow. Holy shit, look at that Monopoly.
That's
That's
50s?
50s, 60s. I'm going to say early 60s.
No.
Not that old?
Oh, it's older. Okay.
Older
There's
than
the
that.
board. There's the
Oh
board.
my God. Okay.
Wait a minute. You've got
I'm going to bring you up.
yeah, you've got wooden houses and hotels, don't you?
Is that, holy shit.
I can't make out the date on it, Ed.
What's the copyright on that, eh?
1946.
46.
Oh, wow.
Holy shit.
They have
I wasn't even a twinkle in the eye of it back then.
right at the end of World War II.
Wow, that is cool. Good find.
And
That's
it's
a good one.
Canadian. It's a Canadian release.
Oh
So
shit.
46 is what the end of the war.
Yeah.
Jason is right. We do have
Wow. Oh,
the
I gotta bring that
wooden.
up. Wow, are you serious? That's
Yep, no
crazy.
dogs.
Everything was wood back then, built to last.
But no. But you know what? What is interesting, and I think it's because it is Canadian release, are the houses and the hotels are plastic for some reason.
Oh, okay.
But the
Interesting.
playing
Okay.
pieces, the playing pieces are wood.
Interesting. And I think one of the
Thank
reasons
you, daughter.
why they were wood back then is because there was still a metal shortage. That was right after
Yeah.
end of World War II.
All the metal went to the war, correct?
Yeah.
So they were still. 1964 is
I'm
right at
surprised
the end of
that
World War II.
they're
Shit.
plastic though. I would have thought. I've seen the ones where the hotels
What's
and
up, Samurai?
the houses were made of wood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
When I Google it, the American, if I go on like eBay or whatever, 46 American Monopoly games did have the wooden hotels, but I don't see any reason why somebody would have changed them out on this. It's
Yeah.
all original. Everything was in the box when I bought it. I think that was a thrift store buy.
That's crazy.
I
Good
think I
find
think
though.
I paid I think I paid like 10 or 15 bucks for it.
yeah,
That's a
that's a
steal.
good one. That's a good one. Yeah, when you go
I
back.
just worth that.
Speaking of stuff from that age, I was looking online the other day. I got one of those things where it said, "Hey, if you've got these items, hang on to them because they're worth more than your house." And I'm starting to look at stuff. I'm like, "Oh my god!" There's the
Right?
original Barbie you could buy a house for.
Oh shit. What, like number one?
Yeah, yeah,
Barbie one?
yep.
Shit.
The original action comic number one was going for like, I want to say it was either $500,000 or $1 million.
Oh yeah.
It
Yeah.
was absolutely insane.
Yeah.
An
And
off the wall one for any of you guys out there that play Magic the Gathering. The first edition, the Alpha edition, had some mana cards that you could play out. One of them that's very well known in the Magic the Gathering community is called the Black Lotus, and the original Alpha version Black Lotus now is worth $440,000.
Are you serious?
A freaking collector
That's
that's
insane, man.
20 years, maybe 20 years old. Well, a little older than that because I was playing it when my son was born
Yeah.
and stopped. And yes, for those of you wondering, Country does have Magic the Gathering cards. That's probably the one toy I could show here, but don't. Um, and yeah, I got stuff that goes back beyond the third edition, and we won't talk about that.
yeah,
So,
I've got prices of stuff I'm going to mention later on. It's crazy on certain items. To me, like when I collect my Hot Wheels, I compare it to coin collecting, stamp collecting.
yeah,
Barbies, I run away from. I don't want to get near. I tried to get into Barbies as a profit to buy, but it's so confusing.
Oh, right
GI
on, Donna.
Joes, GI Joes, I learned a lot about, and I've picked up some good GI Joe stuff over the years.
yeah.
Um,
The original GI Joe was one of the ones that they had up there too. I think that it's like worth
Yeah.
$27 or
And
so.
they were like the size of Barbie dolls, right? The
Yeah,
original ones.
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the
They were like
original ones
dolls.
were the big, yeah, not the 4 inch.
I had the 4 inch ones.
Mind you, the 4 inch ones, the aircraft carrier,
I had the aircraft carrier. I swear we beat the shit out of.
that is worth a ton of money. Cool stuff actually had one for the longest time, and
Oh shit.
he had it displayed in his front window. but he also had the gate that he closed when it closed at night, so somebody wouldn't break the glass and steal it. But
Yeah.
he had the GI Joe aircraft carrier all set up, complete,
Oh
right
wow.
there. Yeah, yeah.
I
That's I'm
well,
gonna guess $1,500, $2,000 in
here's
box.
Wow.
here's a
Wow.
treasure. Here's a treasure hunt for everybody. I don't
I like
know.
treasure hunts.
I don't know if it's any parts of it are still down there or not. It's funny you mentioned that, Ed, because I had three friends that back in the day when you went and played outside and didn't come home until lights went on.
Yeah, cops
Right?
and robbers.
We had one of my friends had that very GI Joe aircraft carrier. Now, I never claimed to be the brightest crayon in the box. I freely admit that I have had my share of dum-dum moves. For those of you that don't know, an M80 is a smaller piece of an actual stick of dynamite. You can't buy them anymore, but you could when we were kids. You didn't want to hold on to them because you blow your damn hand off. And we had this creek down in Charlottesville that ran through a nature preserve. And we used to go down there and we'd play down there all the time because you'd go into the woods and hang out and play and we'd see snakes and all
Yeah.
that other stuff. But one of the favorite things that we would do is take models, ship models, and float them down the creek and take shots at them with BB guns, or pretend that we were depth charging them and stick an M80 down the smokestack, light it, and let it float. And that is exactly what we did with the damn
Oh,
GI
that's cool.
Joe aircraft carrier. No, it wasn't.
Oh man.
We daisy
You
chained,
blew it up.
we daisy chained 4 M80s together. We cut into the top of it and stuck them down in there
Oh
and
man.
chained them together on
Oh,
longer
that's
fuses, lit it and pushed it out into the creek. And let me tell you something,
that's crazy.
that thing blew the back, and it made such a noise. We had people coming out of the houses that were up the street out of the forest preserve at us. Yeah,
Jason, here in Canada, we were deprived. We didn't have firecrackers. We didn't grow up with firecrackers.
you didn't get to
But
play with those? Oh man,
no, we now we can get them. We to buy them, you got to buy them on the actual Indian Reserve. You can't buy them in a normal store.
really?
But when I grew up, when I was like in grade school, early high school, we would have friends that would go down to Florida with their parents for March break, and I forgot what the name of the firework place was, but it was supposedly huge. And I don't think it was in Florida. I think it was maybe North Carolina or South Carolina.
South Carolina, and it's south of the border. I think is what it's called.
Yeah, that might have been it. So every year we'd have friends that went down to Florida with their family, and then they would for March break, and then you'd come back with a whole pack of firework, like firecrackers and stuff.
Yep,
That's the only time we saw firecrackers up here. We
really.
didn't grow up with them, and it was a shame.
Yeah, well, I can say so. See here, all 10 digits still.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
But I know people who are missing digits from playing around with fireworks and not getting it. As a matter of fact, our current neighbors,
No, no.
when we first moved in up here, used to buy a mortar board for our 4th of July celebration. And for those of you that don't know, a mortar board is a board with small tubes set in that are set to go off. You basically light the fuse, and
yeah.
the fuse goes around, and it sets off each one. And it's basically a smaller version of what you see with public fireworks.
Yeah,
Clackers.
yeah,
That's
Not
clackers.
up in the air, and then when it gets to a certain height, it goes boom.
I've
Um,
seen that. I've
the
actually Googled on how to make your own from
Do you know how
scratch.
many kids lost their teeth?
I think as a matter of fact,
Fuck.
the neighbors next door, the last year that they did it, I think they made their own, Ed. Because I'll tell you what, there were two that misfired. One, the tube fell over and launched the projectile across the street into our neighbor's yard, where it proceeded to blow up not once but twice. It was one of those two stagers. And I'm quite sure our neighbors across the street had words with them. The second one also fell over, but didn't exactly fall over. It fell over far enough where it launched it into one of the people's cars.
Oh, okay.
They had a window open. Thankfully, they had a fire extinguisher, and it was one of the small ones. But yeah.
Here in Ontario, there's actually a license for fireworks personnel, I guess, to set up and do the proper fireworks. There's actually a license for that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, they don't see where we are up here on the mountain. They don't come up and mess with us because
no, I know that. Yeah.
By the time gossipers get up here, you've had everything buried at 5 feet underground and won't find it. So,
okay, I'll tell you something I did. I was a pretty creative kid. Remember the old cap guns? Not the.
Oh, Donna.
Okay, I'm talking about the cap guns where you had a roll of paper with the little round circles
Yeah,
on them.
I remember those cap guns. Yeah.
Well, what I did was you cut those circles out because that's the actual explosive.
Yeah. It's a little tiny dot of gunpowder, I think.
Yeah, and I took a bolt and I took a nut and I threaded the nut on the bolt about halfway, and then I'd stick a bunch of those black things that I cut off, which is like gunpowder.
Yeah.
And then I'd thread in another bolt in the other end, and I'd throw it against the wall, and it would make an explosion.
Yeah.
And to get creative as much as I could, I went bigger and bigger. So I basically was building like a miniature bomb, I guess, when I was like 11, 12 years old.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Oosh. Yeah. No, I think our biggest
That's
one,
crazy.
Speaking of bombs, do you remember? Oh God, now I got a brain fart. The Oklahoma City bombing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
A Ryder truck was used for that, and I've worked for Ryder as a mechanic before. Well, the way he was caught was when they went through after the explosion, they found part of the rear end of the truck, and on that rear end, on the differential, there was a tag on it with a serial number. So they got hold of it was probably I would imagine it'd be a Ford. So they got hold of Ford and they said, trace this tag number and tell us what truck it came from. Ford was able to trace it to a Ryder truck. And so they went to Ryder and they said, okay, where was this truck? Because we have the VIN of the truck. And they said, oh, it was at this rental yard over here. So then they went to the rental yard. They looked at the video cameras or whatever it would be there, and they saw Timothy McVie going into that Ryder truck rental unit and renting that truck. And that's how he got caught. It started out with that one little tag on the rear end of that truck that exploded. And then they just went through the whole phase of finding out who did it. And that's how he got caught.
Wow.
Yeah, these days, everything's got video and everything's got a serial number on it. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. Everything's got a paper trail.
What I laugh at is I'll see a bank will get robbed and they'll show video surveillance pictures and they're so grainy, they look like shit. Meanwhile, you got a 7-Eleven down the road that somebody broke in or went in and robbed them. And the video is crystal clear. but the bank ones are like grainy and you can barely tell the person.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's because I hate to tell
Uh,
you, but banks are cheap.
yeah.
You
But
know,
you know
they
what?
had
Robbing a
they had
bank, robbing a bank is almost useless because they don't have cash on them anymore. At least around
no,
here.
well, there's
no.
one, and I don't have all the details on it. I remember bits and pieces of it. I'll have to look it up. But there was one I saw. They did a documentary on where the vault, excuse me, the walls to the vault didn't go all the way up, and there was like a lunchroom or a bathroom or something that was next to the vault that this burglar got into. He got into the bank. I think he posed as a repairman of some type. But he got into the bank, went into the ceiling, into the drop tile ceiling, and down into the uh, vault where the safe deposit boxes were. And instead of having everything go right up to the wall, what they had where the this one bank of uh, safe deposit boxes and this other bank of safe deposit boxes came up and touched at the corners. So it left a hole, a little chute, if you will, behind them, which is where this guy dropped down into and waited for the bank to close. And when the bank closed, it was a Friday when he went in, so he had the weekend, I think it was. He hopped back out and had his tools to drill in and drill the safe deposit boxes. Well, there wasn't any kind of motion sensing equipment inside the vault because hey, nobody broke into vaults. You had all the motion sensing stuff outside, so that they caught the guy before he got to inside into the vault. They didn't worry about the inside of the vault because you had to get past everything first. So he literally stole tons and tons and tons of jewelry, um, banknotes, what do you call those certificates, bearer bonds, and all kinds of stuff out of the safe deposit boxes and got away with it for a while until they caught him. But was one of the biggest heists in history, bank robberies in history in the U.S.
I just read on CNN this week. There's a guy suing the FBI because he's a DB Cooper fanatic. He's been following that case since he was a kid. He has newspaper articles, the whole 9 yards. And what he's suing the FBI for is he wants access to the necktie that he left in the airplane before he jumped out. Because he says that with modern technology, that they should be able to find DNA on the clip that the pin that goes through that necktie.
Yeah,
Well, the FBI is now going, well, you know what? Back when was that? Like the 60s, I think, late
yeah, early
60s.
early '60s, I think.
Yeah, in the 60s. Well, back then they didn't do the forensics like we do now, and they're basically telling him, sorry, but we think that necktie will be compromised, and whatever DNA is on there is not necessarily his. It could be from the investigators touching it and stuff like that. But
Yep.
this guy is such a fanatic over the DB Cooper that it was funny to read.
That's amazing. I'm surprised anybody's still jumping on that. I
Yeah,
could see them. I could see them trying to look for the money still, but the problem is that the money was in bags, and at
yeah.
this point, if it was lost, it's been exposed now to the weather and the elements for 50 some odd years. If any of it's left, it's crap.
They did find $2,500 in the area that he would have landed in. This guy is actually wanting to go out with a search party again and try to find the parachute, but he says the parachute has to still be there, whether it's bundled up and tucked underneath a a thistle bush or something. But he goes, the parachute has to still be there. So that's his next goal is to find the parachute.
Oh God.
But that, you know what, that was pretty original for him to do that.
Yeah. I'll give him credit. I have not seen anybody sue a government entity for access to documents. That's a new one.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
it's
a
not
new
Yeah.
documents. It's actually
well,
evidence.
items, evidence. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Shit.
so can we carry on with the games
We're
then?
moving on with the
Yeah.
toys. Let's go.
Yeah,
I
What
yeah.
do
understand
we?
you're a man with Hot Wheels.
Uh, I
He's
no,
a
no, no,
connoisseur of
no,
Hot
no.
Wheels.
I'm not even near the Hot Wheels yet. Okay, so we covered the board games, and the board games that get hammered to hell now. You can buy
Yeah.
Dukes of Hazzard board games, Happy Days board games, uh, whatever.
Yep.
And then you had not board games, but games that have a bit of mechanical parts to them that made them different.
Yeah.
Actually, an old board game I liked was Clue as well. We played
Clue.
that.
Yep.
Played Clue. But so when board games changed and they became a little more mechanical, where there was moving pieces to it, I got one to show off here. Oh,
Scooby Doo, where are you?
Uh,
Yep.
and no, do I get to? I'll even do the theme song for it. Do 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 do
Jaws.
da da
yeah,
da.
I remember. I remember. That's sad. I actually remember that.
Holy shit.
In the box, complete
That's
with
a board
instructions.
game.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Well,
not a
I,
board game. No, it's a mechanical game. You had to
oh,
pull the
okay.
things out of the jaws, and then
Oh
they
my
would
god.
snap closed.
That is cool.
yeah. So basically, you had to pull
19.
stuff out of its mouth, and if you pulled the last thing and the jaws snapped shut, that was it. You lost.
You're dead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's
Uh,
fucking interesting.
and it is the Canadian version because it's got, well, the game. Okay, right here. This shows it's the Canadian version. Le Jeu de Jaws.
Uh huh.
Yeah, so it is the Canadian version, and it is from 1978, I think.
Let's see. I'd have to argue that one with you, Ed, because it doesn't have the word "a" at the end of it.
Hang on. I got a note here on it. I checked it out. Jaws, 75, 1975.
Uh,
And I'm gonna guess, going by my research, it's worth about $300 with the box
Wow.
and
I
instructions.
believe that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
Oh God, Spitfire. Here you go. Here you go, Ed.
I can't. Oh, hungry. Oh, yeah, hungry hip. You know what? We
Oh
were at a
yeah.
yard. We were at a yard sale the other day, a couple weeks ago, and they revamped it. Was Barrel of Monkeys. I don't know if
Really?
anybody. Yeah, I don't know if you guys remember that. You had the barrel with the monkeys, and you'd
Yeah.
shake them up and you throw them on the ground.
Oh
You
yeah. I
try to hook
remember
as
Barrel
many as you
Monkeys.
could. Yeah, yeah. They revamped it. There's a modern version of it redone now.
Oh jeez.
Oh shit.
And yeah, I remember Cubert. As a matter of fact, not my current desktop, but the desktop before this one that I have, I had a version of Cubert on it. And yeah, you learned to play. Now, the sad thing was you had to learn to play it keyboard because they didn't have the version I got
Oh,
was cheap. They
Yeah.
yeah.
didn't have a remote control that went with it. So,
Now we're talking electronics now. Well, what was the first electronic game that came out?
uh, now electronic or video?
Video. Okay, I'll say video. Sorry.
Video would have been Pong.
I
Yeah,
say
a
Battleship.
Yep,
Uh,
I remember
and
that.
I,
Now I'll
I,
tell
I,
you,
I
I'll
looked
tell you,
into
there
that
was
as
one that
well.
came out with one of the first computers. One of the first computers around was the HP Compaq, um, which was a giant suitcase that you carried. And the front of it, once you unscrewed and pulled out the 6-inch long, maybe 8-inch long uh, phone cord
Okay.
extension to it, and
Misty.
clicked in and tipped up the where
Hey, Derek. Misty came in.
there,
What's up,
and
Derek?
picked it up, and then you had to unscrew the legs that lifted up the little amber screen that's the size of what you have in your car right now for GPS.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Is what we worked with. Hey, hon,
Oh,
and hey, Derek. Um, and it had full height 5 1/4 inch floppies. The game was called Below the Root, and it had four 5.5 inch or 5 1/4 inch floppies that you had to interchange between the two
Yeah.
disk drives to be able to play it. You get to the end of the data on one disk, and it would go loading. Please load disk 3. So you had to pull disk 1 out and slap disk 3 in. You had to leave disk 2 in because it had to seam over. But yeah, that was the first computer game I ever played.
My first actual computer was a Texas Instrument TI-99A cassette drive.
Oh wow.
That was the hard drive.
oh,
It
shit.
was a cassette, yeah. And then when I was in high school and I took computer math, it was I'm trying to remember what it was now. Fortran, I think, the language. And you had remember when you did the tests in school and you had the bubble cards that you had to fill in with
Yeah.
the pencil?
Yep.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
how you wrote your program.
Yes.
Each card you had to do whether what the card did,
Yep.
whether and when you designed your program, you had a template with triangles and arrows, and you'd fill in these cards, and it took pretty well a semester to do a complete program of something that you did. And then TI-99A was my first cassette drive,
Yep.
and then that was DOS.
Yeah.
And then my next computer was BASIC, so I learned how to do BASIC on my own.
Yep.
Oh,
DOS.
that's cool.
And then I
Gosh,
went
yeah.
for many years without a computer, and during those years, the internet started. So when I finally got at my computer and I got on the internet, I looked at it and I went, "How are these websites built?" And we didn't
Right?
have you didn't have Google back then. You did have search engines. I can't remember what they were, but they were pretty basic.
Yeah. Ask Jeeves.
Yeah, Ask Jeeves or
That
whatever,
was
or
one.
go.
Yep.
No, what was the big one back then? Oh God. Anyways,
Yes, I did do I had an Atari, Donna. Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
So I Googled it, or not Googled it, but searched it, and the to make a website, it used a computer language called HTML.
Oh,
So
shit.
I went, okay, well, I'm going to learn how this HTML works. And then to make a website, you had to download a file transfer, FTSP, I think it was, file transfer something P. And that way you can make your website at home, and then you uploaded it on the internet using this file transfer program. So I learned how to do all that, and it took me months like to do it. And at the time, the girl I was dating, she worked at the Children's Aid Society, so she had access to the internet. So I called her and I said, "Okay, go to this website, HTTP, whatever it was." I was with Kojako, so Kojako slash probably my name or whatever slash, and the
Yeah.
website I created, I uploaded it. I go there and tell me if you can see it because I don't know. I can see it on my computer, but can anybody else see it? So sure enough, I'm on the phone with her. She goes and does it. And she goes, yeah. I go, what do you see? She goes, I see, hi, my name is Ed Pink. And she goes, I see a picture of a purple Hot Wheel. And I went,
Oh, that's
wow,
cool.
I created a website. I actually created a website using the language instead of a program. And I transferred it on the internet and she saw it. And she looked at me, she goes, so that's not a big deal. And I'm like, yeah, it is. It took me months to do that.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Atari. Did somebody mention Atari?
That's, yeah.
Donna was talking about Ataris.
Donna mentioned the
Yeah.
Atari game system. So
Oh, speaking of Atari,
Yeah, I remember that Spitfire. Look at this. Look
are you
at that
talking
in the
about this
box.
Atari?
Holy shit,
Atari 2600. Yep.
2600.
Atari 2600.
That's awesome.
And guess what? You know some of those things I got on Amazon, Chris?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got another
well,
one in my back
that
seat.
that allowed me to check this Atari to make sure it works and put it on a TV, a modern TV.
Oh, that's cool.
That would have been interesting.
It took some time. Uh,
We got her figured out.
Now let me ask you this: Did you have to use a folded up piece of paper wedged down between the cartridge
To get the game to start. Yeah, I
to hold the
remember.
cartridge in place?
Holy shit. Oh, this is still good. Oh, he's gonna check it out. Oh, look at this. Wow,
there's the Atari on a modern day TV.
I
that's
love
crazy.
Hang on, I'll see if I can get it to work. Let me grab the controller. Uh,
Yeah, I think we went through about 4 different controllers on ours. We had to keep buying replacements because my brother actually broke the stick on one.
there we go. Oh, I can't get it to move, but anyways, I did play on it. So it is a working version on a modern day TV.
There you go.
That's awesome.
I had to get an adapter.
That's cool, Donna.
I had to get an adapter to take it from the original connector to a coaxial connector. And then I had to go through a VCR, which upgraded the video. Oh, I unplugged my mouse. Hang on.
Oops.
Okay. So, yeah, so I went, actually, there's the setup there, VCR, Atari, and then I had to get
Uh,
this controller on Amazon that took the VCR connectors and turned it into an HDMI to go to the TV.
oh, that's cool.
Ouch.
That's
You see,
crazy.
I think I could probably do it without because the TV that I've got still has the video and audio connectors from that you could use like from a VCR to be able to do that.
On the Atari or?
No, well, obviously you'd have to use it from a DVD player or VCR or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would have to check and see whether or not it would work from the original Atari. That is a question of difference of technology, and
Yeah.
I don't know that this TV is. It's not a brand new TV. It's got a few years on it.
Yeah.
And I bought it used. Um, but like I said, it's got the HDMI connection as well as the um, video, the
The
red,
three.
green,
Yeah,
yellow.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I ended up buying. So that conversion box I bought, I think it was like on Amazon. I think it was like $15,
Do you
and it
guys know
took
this?
it took the three prong one and turned it into HDMI, like upgraded the video or whatever.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah.
You were
Do you
saying
guys know about the Myth ET the game from the Atari?
ET
The
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 game. Nope.
the Myth was so bad. The game was so terrible that they took all the copies of the game and
And
buried
buried
it in the Nevada desert. Now,
it.
everybody thought that was fake and it was a joke. But there's a YouTuber streamer. He's the angry video game nerd. I don't know if you've ever watched him, but he actually did a whole movie on it. And they went out and found the stockpile of ET games that was buried in the desert, which is crazy. But yeah, that's a little fun
Huh.
fact story about that.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I heard
ET.
about that. Now, earlier on, Jason was talking about how like Barbies and certain Barbies are worth money.
Yeah.
I did some eBaying, and these were sold. Anybody can ask any price for anything on eBay,
Mm.
but whether they get it or not. But when I do my Hot Wheels to price a Hot Wheel, I'll go on eBay and I'll look at sold because that's what it's sold for.
Yeah. What is paid for?
Okay, this is what I found on eBay with Atari games. Now, you know how the sports cards get graded and sealed in those
Yeah.
holders? I forgot what they're called now, but they grade them
Yeah.
and they seal them. Well, they do the same thing for video games, and it's called WADA,
Oh
where
shit.
they grade the game whether it's in the box, complete, sealed, or if it's loose or whatever, and they seal it in this container and they grade it.
Yeah.
Frog, okay, these are ones I found on eBay that were sold on Atari games. Frogger, first edition. It was graded at 9.6. I believe it was in the box sealed.
Oh
It
shit.
was $1,000 US.
Oh,
Oh fuck.
Missile
That's
Command.
crazy.
Missile Command graded at 9.6, $1,000 US. Um,
That's
Sears
crazy.
Sears hooked up with Atari, and Atari made a Sears only release, uh, and it didn't
Yeah.
say Atari on it, and they had a special name for it. A 77 Sears is called a heavy sixer because of the way the buttons were designed on it. In box, $900 US.
Oh shit.
Pac Pac-Man.
That's nuts.
Pac-Man rated at 7.0 is 700 it's sold for $700 US. So that's how, it doesn't matter whether it's Hot Wheels, GI Joes, Atari games. If you go on eBay, it's amazing what you see for sale, like what it's sold for.
mm.
That's crazy. Some of those old games are. You got a Nintendo like Super Mario like graded like that? It's through the roof.
Oh yeah, yeah. And certain ones, if they have Japanese releases that weren't sold in North America, certain ones like that are worth a lot of money too. And
Wow.
then one day we'll get into the Hot Wheels.
There we go. Oh, you got some Hot Wheels. Well, your name is Hot Wheel and Eddie.
Yeah, I got a few here to show.
If you handle
Okay,
Jeff's handle Jeopardy.
okay. Well, we'll start with my holy grail.
Oh shit.
We'll start with my holy
Fuck.
grail. I can't see the chat, so if there's any Hot Wheel collectors here, if they're
I'll put
asking
it up.
questions, I can't see them, but
I'll put
somebody
it up
here
like
can.
that so you can see if there's
Okay.
a question for you. I am
So,
solo.
oh, there we
Right there.
go.
Right there.
Okay. This
Oh,
is
wow.
the Sky Show Diora. In 1970, 71, they came out with a play set. And what would happen is there would be an elastic band on here, and there'd be a foam light airplane on it. And it'd race down the track. This little piece here would trigger it, unhook the elastic, and the airplane would shoot.
Huh.
In the US, when they came out with the Sky Show set, they used the Fleetwood, which is like an El Camino. In Canada, they came out with this one. So, of course, in Canada back in 69, 70, less releases were sold in Canada compared to the US. So the El Camino with the ramp is
The
fairly
Hot
common.
Wheels. Oh, that's
This
cool.
one being Canadian, and it came in two colors. This is the common one. There's a purple one, which is even rarer.
Oh shit.
Uh, and they do, if you go on eBay and you Google it, they sell reproduction ramps. You can buy this ramp and it's fake, and then you can put it on this Eldora and make it one of these, but it's not real. To know that
Yeah.
this is a real one, well, if you look if you look at these rivets, that's a brass one and that's a silver one.
Mm.
The reproduction ramps, when you put them on, is silver, silver.
Hey, Brooklyn. She's a Hot Wheeler collector too. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's
Hey,
how you can
Brooklyn.
tell if it's an original and not a reproduction. Plus, it has the actual tampos on it.
Oh no way.
Value, I could easily sell it tomorrow for 1,000 to 1,200 US.
Jesus, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's my holy grail.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. The first Hot Wheel they ever released was a custom Camaro in 1968.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Speaking of,
is that it?
speaking of custom Camaros, I just happen to have a 1968 release here.
Oh my God! Look at that. You got
But
one of the damn things.
what really makes this is like the where it comes to coin collecting and stamp collecting. This one's gold. Okay,
Okay.
gold is
Is that
rare. You won't be able to see it on the base, but
Oh, wow.
it's Hong Kong,
he said?
and
Nice.
um, it's not in perfect condition. It's got toning on the hood, and but it's
Yeah.
still in good shape. It has all its color on it. Uh, Hong Kong, $500 to $600 US.
Oh jeez.
If
Donna
if
said
it
she was
was
looking for one.
if it was a US made one, uh, 2,000 or $2,500.
Holy shit! I gotta start looking for Hot Wheels.
Yeah, yeah. The original in '68 when Hot Wheels came out, that was the first casting. They came out with 16 castings, and they're called a Sweet 16. I don't even
Oh
have all
shit!
16. I don't have all one of each, but I'm slowly getting there. And yeah, that custom Camaro to have it in gold was a nice
That's
little
that's crazy cool. Let's go with that.
thing. What else we
I
got? Oh,
I I hear those micro machines are rare too. Derek had micro machines too.
another Hot
Oh yeah,
Wheels were
they're
Hot Wheels were originally made in the U.S. and Hong Kong, and then they were made in Taiwan, and
oh
then you get
shit.
some rare ones that were made in France, and on the base it says "Made in France." So this would be a made in France one.
Oh shit. Okay.
This is a really rare made in France one.
Oh, wow.
Now Hot Wheel collectors will know this casting as the Airport Rescue, and in the U.S. and Canada it was sold in yellow. This is red,
Blinker. What's up,
and
Blinker?
I got three of these. Can't hold all three of them. Okay, these are called Poison Pintos. They were all made in France. The first version, or one version, has got blue tinted windows. The other version has got clear windows. And then there's this one. As far as I know, this is the only one in the world that exists because on the base, and I verified this with Hot Wheel collectors on Facebook and groups I belong to. These two on the base say France.
Oh shit.
This one, before they came out with this teal one, they came out with another France version, and it was a different color, but on the base it said "Made in France." I don't know if you can.
Huh.
So it's called a transitional base where they went from the previous version in the red to this green one, but for some reason this base got attached to this green teal poison pinto. And I know one of the biggest collectors in France on a Facebook page. He's actually writing a book, and he's going to be including this car in his book because, as far as we know, it's the only one that exists. So this could be my holy grail right here.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Definitely.
And
Well,
other countries, these are cool. I just got into these a little while ago. I only have two. Leo, Mattel,
oh, nice.
Leo Mattel. These are Indian Hot Wheels, made and produced in India
Oh shit.
and sold in India only.
Hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
Where'd
yeah,
you snag
Leos are
those?
Leos are another odd thing that I've just slowly collected.
Doing okay, Gabriel. Much better. You know,
Anyways,
living the
that's
dream.
I'll end that with the Hot Wheels. It's just some of the odd ones I have kicking
That's
around.
awesome, dude.
That
Besides,
is nice.
the 5 or 6 thousand other ones.
Oh yeah.
I actually
Hi,
redid my.
Mariah.
I worked in my room today, and I redid. Uh, I had to. They came into the apartment, and they redid our. We got the
Okay,
hot
Donna.
water radiators on the floor, and
Hmm.
they came in and they had to redo them. So I had to move in my collection room. I had to move that back collection part, which was my red line, my old stuff, out away from the wall. And I never got back to rebuilding it. So I spent some time and I actually redid my uh, play sets, vintage play sets, and car carriers.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
oh, this room's such a. I'm going to probably trip and fall. Yeah,
Oh,
piece
don't
of
do that.
shit.
Donna's got
Uh,
some Hot Wheels too. She wants to share.
yeah, yeah. There's a
Holy
bunch
crow.
there. This,
Holy
this this is my little twirly thing with my more expensive ones on it. I got some more packed up along here, and I got more there, more here, more here. These are doubles. These are well, these are all doubles. And, but this is hopefully you can see it.
Mm-mm-mm.
So these are all vintage 69, 70 play sets
Yep.
and car carriers.
Oh, I remember the wheels.
Yeah, yeah. So I finally got this corner rebuilt. These are all red lines. I don't know if you can. These are
Gabriel
all
says
red
she's
lines.
a big collector of import Hot Wheels. That's cool.
Who's that?
Gabriel,
Gabriel?
she's big. Donna has some Hot Wheels too. She wants to show.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think I'm done with my show and tell.
That's cool.
Give me a sec here and I'll load these up.
That's all right. Do you guys remember Pogs?
Yeah.
Fuck, they were huge for like a year. Eddie was
You,
looking for my Pogs. He still got them somewhere.
you know what, Chris? Those were invented in Hamilton here.
I heard that. They
Yeah.
like blew up for like a year.
Actually, what happens is when I worked at Ryder here in Hamilton, one of our customers was Stanpack, and that's who did them.
Oh shit. Oh, that's a picture of Donna's some of her Hot Wheels. She's got it.
Yeah, yeah.
She's got a couple.
2002, roughly. I can't see the dates, but those are
Really?
about 202, 203s.
Back in the day, we had toys, but like we had to share toys a lot. There was four of us boys. And we shared a lot of toys. We used our imagination too a lot.
They had
We
to back then.
did. Fuck, we
I, I
here's
had
a
a
stick. Go play in the trees. Like,
when skateboards were big,
mhm.
I was like grade 7, 8, 7, roughly.
Yep.
I had an old wooden skateboard with steel wheels on it.
Oh shit.
And I brought it to school and rode it around in the parking lot while all these guys are on their polyurethane, whatever they were
Yeah.
made out of, with the fancy trucks and this and that. And here
Yep.
I was riding around on a skateboard with steel wheels on it.
Oh shit. I got a funny story about a skateboard. When I was like 12, I wanted a skateboard so bad, we went to I think it was my mom's like Christmas party for her work, and they got the kids like toys and stuff. Well, I got a Bart Simpson skateboard. Now, I thought it was the coolest damn thing in the world, but you know what? I didn't think to like maybe learn how to ride the thing before using it. So I decided to pick this hill, which is like a massive hill. It's Millen Road in Stony Creek. At the end, there's like this hill, and I decided to go down to the top of the hill, get off my skateboard, and go. Wow, fucking skateboard got down the hill before I did. I rolled down the hill, but needless to say, that's the last I ever got on the skateboard.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I
Yeah.
had a big ramp set up when I did get an
Gabriel.
up to date real skateboard. I built a ramp and it was crude. It went up to the shed in the backyard. It was about 6 feet high, and it was straight wood going on an angle up. And there wasn't like a pipe one. And sure enough, there I was on a skateboard, probably about 12 years old, going full speed up that ramp and turning around at the top and coming down. And my brother videotaped it on the old video camera, the Super 8 mil, no
Oh
sound or
man,
anything. And somewhere, and I have all our when I've got all our old family videos, like VCR, not a VCR, Super 8 mil
yeah,
films,
yeah,
and on one of them is me riding up and down on this ramp and riding on the skateboard doing a handstand.
that's crazy.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
Hang on here. Donna's got another one she wanted to share with us.
she got this old one here. I think there it is.
Yep.
Ooh,
Oh shit, that's an older one.
that looks like a
That one.
muscle. That looks like a muscle machine.
Is that Hot Wheel, Donna? They're called
Yeah,
vintage cars. Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
cool.
The big engines on them. Yeah.
Well, shit.
Actually, Hot Wheels. they came out with these tuned cars. I'm not
Huh?
a big fan of them, but what they do is they take a popular car and they make a
Yeah.
cartoon kind of version of it. And I bought one the other day because I couldn't resist it because it's one of my favorite Hot Wheels. This is the tune. This is a new release. This is the tuned version of the original Batmobile.
Oh my
Oh
god.
shit. Okay.
Looks like something that should be coming off a Scooby Doo episode.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. And I could because actually they came out with
Scooby Doo.
everybody thinks that was the original Batmobile, like the black one with the that Chuck Barris built. Um, it wasn't. Before that, there was another Batmobile. DC Marvel Comics or something came out with it. It was kind
Oh
of
shit.
blue and it did have wings. Hot Wheels did come out with it, a limited version of about 10,000 or something,
Oh wow.
and it's worth a lot of money.
Oh shit.
So the original Batmobile that we know of wasn't the actual original Batmobile. There was one previous to that in the
Oh,
comic books, not the TV show.
okay. I was going to say because the TV one was the customized Lincoln Futura that was
Futura,
in
yeah,
1955.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No,
That was
in the
blue, black,
comics,
and red, or
yeah,
no?
yeah. I should have specified that in the comic books. The original Batmobile wasn't the original Batmobile that we know. It was blue with a bit of fins on it. But yeah, the Futura Hot Wheels actually came out with the a model of the Futura, the actual Futura that was converted. And I'm still trying to get my hands on one of those.
Oh shit.
Uh,
What's
for
up,
those of you,
Daydreamer?
for those of you wondering, here's what it looked like.
What's that one? Oh yeah, there it is. Batman.
Yeah,
That was the version that they had on the TV show with Adam West.
Good
yeah.
old Adam West. R.I.P. He just passed away recently. I think. Last
Been a
5 years,
while.
anyway.
Yeah,
Can you are you on the internet like Googling? Can you
I am.
Google?
Yeah.
Okay, can you try to Google the original Batmobile? See if
Hey,
you can
Hannah.
find it. Or go even Hot Wheels original Batmobile because
Yep.
they came out with the release of it.
How
Okay.
are you, Hannah?
And Chris, Adam West died June 9th, 2017.
Oh shit, it was longer than I thought.
I bet you the butler died a long time ago because he was old on the show to begin with.
Yeah, Alfred. Yeah, fuck yeah.
Albert, yeah.
Let's see
Brooklyn's
here.
got a camper. Wonder how much it's worth. 1959 camper. That's good to hear, Hannah. It's good to see you. Good to see you. About the 30th anniversary of Power Rangers. Let's go with that.
I can't show the video for it, but actually,
Got a picture? We got pictures. We got pictures for days.
this is what they're saying was the original version. Color me surprised.
You learn something new every day.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Look at that.
So
No,
that is
no,
the
no, that's not
original.
the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, but that's
Oh
when I do a search for it, that's what comes up.
Oh,
shit!
okay.
Is the 1966 Mattel Hot Wheels Batmobile.
Wow, $115.
Well, yeah, it's a
Shit.
collector's item. Come on now.
Yvonne Craig, who played Batgirl, died in 2015. Oh shit.
And I don't know if it'll get us in trouble, but I can do this. Let's see here.
Batman.
Give me a sec. Get past the daggone advertising.
Oh crap!
All right, so this is off of YouTube. Gotta help us if we get flagged for it. That's what they are showing.
Okay, I found the one I'm looking for by Googling it. If you
Oh,
go
cool.
Hot Wheels original Batmobile DC Comics, it's actually red. I thought it was blue.
Huh. Show it up there. Post it up, big guy. I just dropped down.
I don't know. I don't know how to do it though. I
Oh,
found a picture of it.
okay.
It,
Down at
it's
the.
called the first. It's called the first Batmobile, and it's red in color.
Huh. Let's see here.
But I don't know how to save the picture and post it up there. Go Hot Wheels original Batmobile DC Comics. And it'll on the card, the one I'm looking at on the card says first Batmobile and it's red.
All right, give me a sec here.
And it was a limited edition. It's called First Appearance Batmobile. And you know what? I think it was in a movie before the show came on. I see lots of pictures of it. Yeah, because I think there was a movie, a
Are you
Batmobile,
talking?
a Batman movie before the show actually came on TV, and it was in black and white. And I
You
seem to
talking this
remember
one?
watching.
Oh,
There it
that's
is.
cool.
Yeah, that's the
I like that
original
one.
real. That's the original real Batmobile right there. In the
Wow.
and I think I'm sure I watched a black and white movie, a Batman movie before the show came out, and that was the car they were driving.
That looks like the Green Hornet car, but it's red. What's up, GT? GT in the building. We talking toys. We having a blast. I'm loving this live stream right now. I'm having a lot of fun. I'm getting a lot of feedback on the background here.
Does
There was a
anybody know what
Batman cereal.
does anybody
What?
know what car Get Smart drove?
Oh
What
shit.
car gets what?
Get Smart. Get Smart.
Get smart. Oh, oh.
You
You
talking?
Isn't that the kit one? No, that's Knight Rider.
no. Sunbeam Tiger.
Oh shit,
And
that's
you
cool.
know what? When I was in, I'm gonna say back in the 80s, I was on a pit crew for a race car, a stock car.
There's
We were
GT.
working in a an old chicken coop. That was where we worked on the car. It was the next
Much
chicken
love,
coop.
Donna.
And out in the
Chicken coop.
property was a Sunbeam Tiger sitting there rusting away.
Hmm.
Wow.
Very rare cars.
Hate to see
Oh,
those.
that's crazy.
That sucks.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I've got I've got one. We'll switch over back into the video games real quick because I just had one roll across my screen. Anybody remember the game Burger Time?
I remember Burger Time. You had
Yes.
to crawl
I,
across the buns and it would fall down.
yeah.
Oh,
So
I
silly.
remember that shit. What's up, Maria? How are you? Good to
Oh,
see ya.
my one of my all-time favorites as a young adult, late teen, was Risk.
Was what?
Risk is awesome.
Risk. Risk.
I fucking love Risk.
Oh,
Axis and
We
Risk.
Allies.
Gotcha.
we did Risk games. They were all-nighters. We generally drank a fair amount and partaked
It's
in
good to see you,
something
Maria.
that was illegal at the time. And we literally played that game, and everybody, it didn't matter if you got knocked out first, you always stayed up to watch the end of the game. So it went until like 3, 4 in the morning.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Awesome
Yeah.
game.
And I
Battleship.
will say I will say this: we did risk games like that. Not the drinking part, but we did risk games like that, and that was where friendships were made. That's also where friendships went to die.
Well, that's like Monopoly.
Because I'm gonna tell you what, some of the folks in our group took that shit real serious. If you made a pact with them, and then, well, since there can only be one, if you happen to break that pact and stab them in the back, they got a little persnickety over that one.
Yeah, well, that's real life too. That's the way
Yeah,
it happens in the real
yeah.
world.
Now I'll tell you another one. You want to talk about going all nighters? And there are some people who will freely admit this, and there are some people who will not admit it, even though they did play. I was talking with Chris about this before we got started. I had the full set of the original first edition Dungeons and Dragons hardbound books. And yes, I played D&D as a teenager. I used to love to draw and create my own dungeons. And my ex, when I left, apparently that was a box that I left behind, and she put it out in the garden shed, which was a little plastic shed outside the house, was not climate controlled. And I didn't find out about it for about 2 years until she called and said, "Oh, yeah, there's a couple boxes you need to come get." Well, by that point, they had molded. And I was looking with Chris earlier before we started, so I had to throw them away. But I was looking with Chris before we got started, and I was curious what those books were valued at now. And you're talking about the sold thing. I didn't look at sold, but I looked at what people were asking for on eBay, and those books are going for $350 each. And you bought them originally for $15 to $30.
Yeah.
Now I've still got my dice.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Well, when
Yeah.
I collected Hot Wheels and started collecting, that's when I got onto eBay. And back then, there was no eBay Canada. It was in it was early, like it was more in this California American kind of thing. And when I collected Hot Wheels, I went on to these message boards back then, people mentioning eBay. So I started looking up eBay and I went, oh, this is cool, but it's not in Canada, it's in the States. And I went, shit, you can sell stuff on here and make money.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. I was literally, I had a US bank account. And back then, eBay now, eBay now is PayPal only because eBay bought PayPal. And that's the only way you can buy anything on eBay is through PayPal.
Oh shit! So they get a cut of the sale and a cut of the PayPal.
Yes, they're getting the cut. They're getting their 30% of your sale, and they're getting 30% of your payment.
Fucking double
And
dipping over there.
and that's when I quit eBay, was when they forced PayPal on. But previous to that, I was selling on eBay. I actually got a certificate because I was a good seller, a good community member. I got a certificate from eBay, and I actually helped them when they decided to open eBay Canada. They asked for input on information, and I helped them. So they sent me this certificate. So I was selling anything and everything on eBay, and people were sending me, if they were a good seller with a good rating, they were sending me, I was accepting cash, personal checks, or money orders.
Damn.
And I had a US bank account, and I was putting that money in the bank account because it was all US funds. And I was selling like, oh, I went to a yard sale one day, and a lady had a straw basket of the old bottle openers, the metal bottle openers. and they were all Canadian brands, Molson, Blue, whatever. And I asked her, I go, what do you want for all these openers? And she goes, you can have them. But she goes, I want to keep the basket. So she got me a plastic bag. She poured all these openers in a bag. There was about probably 20, 25 of them. And the person I was with at the time, she goes, who the hell's going to buy that? And I said, you watch. And I went home and I broke them up into lots of 5. So I had like a one Molson Canadian one Labatt's Blue one,
Oh,
they
that's
were all
cool.
Canadian. And I listed on my eBay and I was selling them and I got them for free, and there's this like,
Brooklyn wants to know how much you spent on your whole collection.
how much what?
You spent on your whole collection, like the I guess.
Um, I couldn't even guess. But I don't buy anything unless it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Like that, my Sky Show Dioria, I wouldn't have bought it unless I got it for a good price. Like I said, I can sell it for 1,000, 1,200 US tomorrow. I paid $250 for it Canadian.
Wow, that's a steal.
But yeah, but people go, what? You spent $250 on a Hot Wheel? Well, yeah, because it's worth $1,000 if not more. You know, so that's why that's my collection. I really would hate to put a price on it. I would think 15,000 to maybe 20,000 Canadian, and put into it, I would say about a quarter, because when I buy stuff, I generally buy it for half or a quarter, mostly a quarter of what it's valued. So let's say if my collection's worth 20,000, I probably put 5, 6,000 into it, buying it over the year. Over the years, we're talking from 95 until now. So if I put 5,000 into it, or even 8,000 into it over the years, you break that down to how many years that's been. So, I used to go to toy shows and spend, you know, 80 to $120 and come home with 5 or 6 cars that were worth 4 or 5 times more, because I know what to look for because I've been at it for so long now.
Yeah. Definitely does make a difference. That's for sure.
Yeah, knowledge is the king. It's like anything. Like I said, I compare collecting Hot Wheels to collecting stamps and coins. Uh, I don't know how much you know about American coins, but you can have a Buffalo nickel. You can have two identical Buffalo nickels of the same year, but one might have it was minted at one place and the other one is minted at another place, but
Yep.
one could be worth, 200 times more than the other one.
Yep. Well, that and the condition of the coins too.
Yeah, yeah, it's the exact same thing with Hot Wheels. That's exactly how I compare collecting Hot Wheels is to collecting coins or stamps. It's where it's made, the interior color, the exterior color, um, the condition. It just varies.
Yep.
For all you young kids listening, it's like Pokemon cards. Um, there's Charizards where the same card is could be a couple $100. If it's got like a certain little mark on it or a letter S or something, it could be tens of thousands of dollars. Like you got to know what to look for. I don't know Pokemon cards, but that's just an example. I've seen some of those with big price tags too. Pokemon cards of all things.
Yeah.
That was another thing I was selling on eBay back in the day. Actually, no, the one thing, this is a funny story when I was selling on eBay way back when it wasn't what it is now. Chris, do you remember the Labatt's Blue cases of beer that
Yes.
came with the Stanley Cups?
Yeah, yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, I was
I still
selling
have
those.
one, I think.
I was selling those Stanley Cups on eBay for more than what I was paying for a case of beer.
Whew.
Wow, for more than a case of beer.
I had a good summer.
Uh,
And it got to the
Magic the
point where
Gathering. Yep, those are.
it, it got to the point where if I went to at the time I had my house in Melbourne, so I was going to the beer store at Barton and Parkdale. If I was going there and they ran out of the cases with Stanley Cups in them, I'd go to another beer store on purpose
Oh
to
shit!
find to keep on buying all these cases of beer with Stanley. And like I said, I was paying what back then, $22 for a case of beer, and I was selling them for like 24, 25, $26 on eBay.
Wow, that's so cool.
Because it was a Canadian thing. And that's another thing. Canadian Hot Wheels seem to have more value. We get like those French ones I showed you. They were sold in Canada, but they were not sold in the US. So the American Hot Wheels collectors are way bigger than I am. I'm just a little minnow, and they're the big sharks and whales in the States. Mike Zarnock, I'm friends with him on Facebook. He's written 7 books
Oh
on
wow.
7 price guides and Hot Wheels. I'm friends with him, and I've shown him some of the stuff I have that are Canadian releases that he's never seen or heard of. Um, so yeah, Canadian release only stuff is to me more valuable than the American stuff.
Oh wow.
Here's
Yeah, some of it, absolutely,
um,
absolutely. Of course, a big part
these
of it too is what whatever the market will bear.
these these box ones were only sold in Canada and Europe,
Oh
never in
wow,
the U.S. And I've got
Oh shit.
10, maybe 10 or 12 of them. So stuff like
That's
that
so
is
cool.
like here's another Canadian only release, and Chris will relate to this one. And it only came out
Oh.
1 year, and I wasn't buying Hot Wheels at the time, or I would have bought them all.
that's
Oh
nice.
shit. Yeah.
This
Canadian
is a
Tire.
this is a Canadian Tire Hot Wheel. Canadian Tire is a store in Canada, obviously. And 1 year they tag teamed with Mattel, and they came up with their own version of this Hot Wheel. And
Shit.
these things are worth like about 20, 25 bucks now. I had this one given to me as a fellow collector, knowing that I wanted
Oh,
one. So he gave me this one.
oh, that's cool.
I'm I'm trying to remember, but I think Canadian Tire was one of the places Misty was not overly happy with
Yeah.
when we first got together.
Here's another Canadian release. I don't know if it'll show up or not. But if you look, there's French writing up here, and then you look here,
Okay.
tired, tired of film or whatever. Okay, so this
Oh shit.
Bronco was from the movie Megaforce, which I've never watched. US versions without the French writing sell for $250 to $300 in package.
I am.
This is the Canadian
Wow.
version that I only know of. Besides this one, there's 5 more that I know of. So I can't even price this. I can't even price it. If the US version carded sells for 250 to 300, 600, whatever somebody would be willing to pay for it.
Wow.
So the Canadian Hot Wheels are worth a lot more. And the France Hot Wheels, there is Mexican Hot Wheels, and like I showed the Indian Leos.
Did you say Mexican Hot Wheels?
Yeah,
Mexican
yeah.
Hot Wheel.
I don't know.
Man, this is low riders, eh?
I
All
don't
right.
I don't know a lot about the Mexican ones, but they were called Cispas. And somehow the story goes that a bunch of uh, what are they called? Molds. A bunch of molds were stolen from Mattel, taken over to Mexico, and recreated in Mexico under the Cispa label.
Hmm.
And
Oh shit.
yeah, I don't have one. I know about them. Very rare. Uh, I like I said, I know little about them, but they're called CISPA, CISPA, I believe,
Oh shit.
Huh.
and they were made
I
in
did.
Mexico with stolen molds from Mattel,
Oh my
and
god.
they rebranded them and repackaged them under their name.
Now, see, for
Wow.
that, I'd have added the logo on any one of those. I'd have added the logo. Drive it like you stole it.
I'll show you just a couple more
Yeah, Jose.
Canadian only releases just to show what the difference is. In the 80s, Hot Wheels came out with real riders with the real rubber tires on them. They're
Oh
they're a
shit.
big yeah, they're a big collector now. So here's a Canadian version of ours. And as you can
Oh
see, it's
wow.
real riders, Les Brays. So the US version would not look anything like this because it's got the French writing on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Back in 85 or 86, McDonald's in the US and Canada partnered with Mattel to make Hot Wheels as you buy that Happy Meal or whatever. In the States,
Yeah.
they had the East Coast and the West Coast. They had 12 cars. They had 12 cars. They were different cars on both sides of the coast. The East Coast had these 12. The West Coast had those 12. In Canada, McDonald's had their own 12.
Hmm.
So
I
this is
believe.
a Canadian McDonald's Hot Wheel. And most of the time you can tell it is because the peg hole isn't punched. It's still normal.
Yeah.
And this is the second hardest one to find. I've got 7 of the 12. So the Cobra is the hardest, second hardest. The Bronco is the hardest one to find. And the reason this Cobra is valued so much is in the US, this blue Cobra only came with real rider tires and never with just the black wall wheels. But in Canada, this Cobra was released at the McDonald's edition
Oh.
with the black wall wheels.
Hmm.
So even if
Oh
it's not
wow.
in the, it's worth money because
Yeah.
it wasn't released in the U.S. with these wheels. So that's where the
Oh shit.
Canadian, my with the collectors I connected with on Facebook in the U.S. Uh, they're impressed with what I have because of the Canadian. I go out of my way to find the Canadian release stuff.
Another
Oh,
boot for the
that makes
Canadian
sense.
retail market. Shit, let's go with that.
And it's just not the cars. You saw my track sets, my play sets. Uh,
Oh shit.
1968, Mattel Incorporated. Introducing the pace setting 69 Hot Wheels cars and tracks.
Oh
This is
wow.
the book. It's the catalog showing. And on the back, you got your collector's list. You can write them down or check them off.
Now, Eddie,
19,
how how
19
how Eddie, how tall was that?
how tall was this?
Yeah.
It's about 3 inches,
Yeah.
3 inches high.
See, this is That's why we need these.
Okay, here's another one. 1970 International Collector's Catalog.
Okay, see
Oh, wow.
that I could
And
probably.
on the back, there's a mail away thing that you can mail away and get this certain car, which I do have the car.
Oh,
And those cars are kind of rare because the only way you can get them is if you filled this in, mailed it in, and got the car.
gotcha.
Wow. That's
So
cool.
it's just not the cars I collect. I collect. Oh, I got a bicycle. I got a Hot Wheels bicycle a kid's bicycle in my room.
Oh, that's cool.
That's nice.
That is way cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I think I'm done with my my show and tell.
You did awesome, dude.
I'm
I
trying. I'm
don't think
trying
we
to.
have a. I don't think we have a whole lot to follow up with. That's a hard act to follow, bud.
Well, I
Man.
started out with my Monopoly. Oh, actually, Jason, yeah. Do you remember a couple weeks ago you were on Chris's and I was in chat and I mentioned the Underdash stereo?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I said it was an 8-track. I stand corrected. I found it. Oh. Yeah, I just figured it's not a toy. Well, it is a toy if you own a car.
Hey, Smoking Joe.
So here it
Hey,
is,
supposed to go.
Sanyo.
Daniel. Uh-huh.
It's actually
That's a cassette.
it's a cassette,
Oh,
4-channel
shit.
cassette.
Yep.
Okay.
It's all good, Smoking Joe. It's good to see you.
Here it
That's
is,
cool.
still in the original wrapping in styrofoam, unopened.
Oh wow.
We've got the instruction manual.
Now that's a actually pull that back up for a sec. All right, now that's serious mounting hardware there.
Yeah, you
Most of the
remember
ones,
they used to slide out. You mount them underneath the dash, and then the
yeah,
player would slide out.
yep. Most of the ones I worked with had the ones where it was two brackets on the side, and you bolted them, you screwed them into the underside of the dashboard, and then you had bolts that went into the chassis of the underside, and you could tip it front to back, front to back, front to back a little bit. But that's what held it up was 4 screws on 2 brackets, and then 2 screws, 2 bolts on the side.
Yeah.
So that's an even better mounting kit than what I used to work with.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like a CB radio used to mount. It
Yeah.
had it
Yeah.
bent down. You had the little thumbnails. Yeah.
Yep.
I got a little tag in there of some sorts. And then I've got the
Oh, shit.
warranty. I got the warranty card
Damn.
and another warranty card. Now, what's pissing me off is somewhere I have the original receipt of sale and I can't find it.
Oh, shit.
The cat must have ate it. But I have the original sale. It was a electronic store in Toronto, and it had the price, and I can't remember the price, and it had the person's name on it, the stereo place he bought it from, and I think it was like 30 some odd dollars.
The really top of the line ones were going for about $100 back then.
Yeah, so I thought it was an 8-track player, and I stand corrected. It was actually a cassette player, but the 8-track was
That's all right.
that was a whole different ball game too.
Oh yes, it was.
Halfway
yeah.
through the song, they changed tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true, GT. That's a good point. Most collections end up at Goodwill because families don't know what they are worth after the people die.
That's
Yeah.
That's a
that's
good point.
that is where I buy most of my stuff.
Heck yeah.
Yard sales and thrift stores.
Yep. Now you can also get them, but the folks there are a little bit more savvy. But flea markets will work too. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but a lot of the folks at the flea markets will are a little more savvy about the what things are worth, and they'll haggle with you on it.
Yeah. One of my best flea market buys was, I don't know if Chris will remember or not, Highway 5 and Highway 6. If you went up 5 to 6 and you turn left, there was a big barn and it was a giant flea market there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember the
Yeah.
name of it, but
I've been there.
I remember going in there, and this is where, because of collecting Hot Wheels, I learned a lot about toys. Is I came across this Mago Batman that was about, oh, I don't know, that tall. Mago came out with a lot of the TV
Yeah.
superheroes. And so I came across this Mago Batman. He was naked, he had no clothes on. His
Yeah.
his fingers and toes were chewed by probably a kid or an animal. So there were
Or a
no
dog.
fingers hardly left, yeah, or toes left. But the thing that I knew about it was the cowl. You know what the cowl is, the mask?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It came
Oh
off
yeah.
and
That
it
cowl
had
is worth just the cowl is worth money.
uh what happened was when they released that Mago Batman with the removable cowl, they deemed it a choking hazard and they stopped production really quick. And they came out with the cowl was molded onto the head and it wasn't removable. So I
Oh
picked
shit.
up this Batman with the removable cowl, naked, with his fingers and toes chewed off, going, God damn it, I don't believe I found one of these. So it was an older Italian guy. And I look at him and go, What do you want for this toy? And he looks down, he goes, $2. So I gave him
Um,
$2. This was when I was selling on eBay. I listed it on eBay. God, trying to remember what I sold it for. It was like 160 US. And the buyer, his eBay name was Bruce Wayne.
oh, jeez. There you go.
And I know exactly what he did. He wanted that head with the cowl. He didn't care about the body, but he wanted that head with the cowl. And I sold that for, I paid like $2 and sold it for like $160 a couple of weeks later. I
Oh,
did good on eBay. I had fun doing it, but then they got stupid with their rules and stuff. So
mm-mm-mm.
now it's Facebook Marketplace and Kijiji. Shipping is crazy now. It's not
Yeah.
worth buying Hot Wheels on eBay or anywhere out of province because by time you pay for it to get shipped, it's 4 times more than what the actual car is worth.
Yep.
So that's why I stay local. I go to flea markets. I go to there's a couple toy collector stores in town. I go to the toy shows. That's where I buy. I'd say 98% of my collection has been bought in hand, not online, not shipped to me. The odd one like that Diora was shipped to me. Um, that Bronco I showed was shipped to me, but it was well worth to pay the shipping costs. But the standard Hot Wheel to get it shipped, it's not worth it anymore.
Mm-mm-mm. Well, I'll give you a quick story on one. See if you can figure this one out. So, toy that was invented by a nuclear engineer working for NASA. Gentleman's name was Lonnie Johnson. He was working as a spacecraft systems engineer on the Galileo mission to Jupiter in 1982, when an accident prompted an epiphany. A prototype for a heat pump that he was working on sprang a leak, shooting a blast of water across the room. He immediately saw potential in this. As a Tuskegee University graduate and an Air Force veteran, he now holds over 120 patents. He went on to harness an air pressure via arm pumping action to create a high velocity water gun that has outperformed any other toy on the market like that. In 1990, he pitched his idea to the Laramie Corporation, and it was first called the Power Drencher. But it was the top-selling toy of 1992, has made over $1 billion in sales. Anybody have a guess as to what it is?
Nerf.
Nah.
Well,
No.
the gun that you pump and shoot water with.
It's the Super Soaker, yes.
Yes, Super
Yep.
Soaker.
This thing, and it's hysterical, came about while he was working on a heat pump for a spacecraft.
Yeah.
And this is how he turned it into money.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
Back when I was a kid, we had, and I don't know if it was in the States or not, but it was here in Canada. It was a little rocket ship. Oh, I'd say about 6 to 8 inches high.
Uh-huh.
And it sat on a stand with
Yep.
water, and you pumped it,
Yep.
and you released it, and it shot up in the air.
Yep.
You remember
they still have them. They still have them, but they don't have them in the pump version like that anymore because people were pumping them up so high that they were exploding.
Well, that's what I was doing.
Yeah, well, see, because everybody has to be wrapped in bubble wrap anymore, and the Darwin Awards don't help us, no longer help us to, let's say, weed out those participants in the shallow end of the gene pool. What they did was they changed it now. So now instead of a pumpable thing, you still fill it with water. You still have a stand that it goes on. You still have a cord that goes back, but it now goes to a pump that you stamp on once and it launches it. So you can't get the same altitude that we used to get with them.
Yeah. Hey, come on. I played with
What's
real
up,
lawn
Randy?
darts. I played with real lawn darts, and I still have my eyes.
Yeah. That's what I was saying early on in the show here. You know, those were the ones where if you got hit in the head with those, you know, you were riding around in a wheelchair and eating pudding for the rest of your life. You know, those were a thing. Let me tell you. You know, that and also the we grew up where you could actually order a chemistry set online that came with little tester size bottles of different chemicals that you could put together.
I know
Oh, fuck
exactly.
yeah.
I know
I
exactly
remember
what you're
those.
talking about.
Yeah.
And one day I was in Value Village, and
Came with a microscope, right?
I came across one of
Yeah.
those kits, those science kits, and I opened it up, and there was all these bottles with all kind of real nasty shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck.
And right away I took it and I went up to the front of the store and I said, "Can I see a manager?" And they got me the manager, and I said, "Get rid of this." And I said, "Don't just throw it in the garbage, but make a phone call to see how to dispose of this, because the shit that's in those bottles
Oh,
should
fuck
not
no
be
shit.
anywhere.
Yeah.
Hey
And they
Nick, what's
looked
up,
at
buddy?
and they looked at me like I was stupid.
And it, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, one of the
fucking
big things
jerks.
one of the big things that they used to have in it was mercury, and
Yeah.
you'd pour it out on the table and push it around, and,
Uh,
roll it in
I
your
my
palm, and yeah,
I,
oh
I
yeah,
I'm not gonna say how my brother acquired it when he was in high school, but he came home with a little bottle of mercury, pure mercury.
oh yeah,
And you know how much
GT.
do you know how much times I played with that shit?
oh yeah,
Literally rolled it around with my fingers
yeah, yeah,
and probably didn't wash my hands after.
yep,
I probably got mercury poisoning from playing with that shit, but it was 100% mercury that was in the little bottle.
yeah, yep. But see, that was the thing. Back in the day, we were tough enough where we could do that. We'd play with something like that, and it never did affect us.
Huh? Huh? Huh?
But the other one was you had the wood burning kit with the 6-inch power cord,
Would pretty kid.
which
I
which
burned myself
ensured
bad or one of those fucking things.
which ensured you played with it right by the drapes. You know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh,
yep,
I remember when we immigrated from England here, we had Christmas tree decorations that they brought with them that clipped on and held little real candles,
oh
like
wow,
real candles that you'd light.
yikes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
see,
It's like, yeah, let's put these flaming things on a dry Christmas tree and probably all die tonight.
not not quite as bad, but close second. My grandparents, I didn't get them. I would have loved to have had them. I would have kept them no matter what. My grandparents had 3 strings of lights that they put on the Christmas tree every year. They had the clips, but you had to, once you clipped them in, they were little bottles and like upside down test tubes. They were shaped like candles, but it was glass. It was see-through glass that had liquid in it, and you with different colored lights. And when you plugged them in, the liquid would heat up until it would start to boil, and you would actually have bubbles going up the candles. So whatever this low heat liquid was that was heating to a boiling point and bubbling in this, okay, number one, you had electricity and you had some type of a low boiling point liquid inside of a thin glass container. Yeah, any of those cracked or broke or busted a seal, and you got an instant short and a fire on your hands. But I'm gonna tell you what, they were some of the prettiest things I remember seeing on a Christmas tree growing up as a kid. Mm,
Yeah, I grew up with the nativity scene in front, so
yeah,
that was
Oh
part
yeah,
of
no
our
shit.
Christmas. Yeah, yeah, that's the my parents were super Roman Catholic, old school Polish Roman Catholic.
yeah.
So yeah.
Spitfires up here talking about electric car racetracks.
Oh
There's another one, Spitfire. Do you remember? And let's see if Eddie remembers this one, because this is back from our time. The electric football game
yes,
where you put
it
the players,
vibrated.
yeah,
It
where you put the
vibrated. The
players down and
players
it
moved around.
vibrated,
Yeah,
and you had
yeah,
no idea. You want to talk about something to wager on? That was the game to wager on, because there was no way anybody could come up with what the hell the end result was going to be.
yeah, yeah. I remember those. Actually, uh, back in the day when I was on the eBay things, you remember the tabletop hockey games where you move the players around
Yeah,
with the well, I went into actually it was I was in Hamilton, so this was back in the late 80s. I went into Value Village and there was two
Shit.
bags of the metal hockey players, the flat hockey players that you stuck on them.
yeah,
Oh, for the
And I
game.
looked,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I looked at them and I went, they're all mint. They've never been played with. and they were
Wow.
like $3 a bag. So I bought both bags, and I was working at Ryder in Burlington afternoon shift. So I show up there at, I think I started at like 4 in the afternoon, and my foreman was a British guy that I just did not like, Peter. So I walk in to start my shift, and I throw these two bags down with the price tag on them, $2.99. And I throw this down. I said, you know what, Peter? I said, I'm going to make more money off these two bags than I am by working here tonight. And he looks at me.
Uh,
He goes, fuck off. Like he is a British guy, eh? Fuck off. And sure enough, I was on eBay. What they were was when you bought the Canadian version of that game, it came with Toronto and Montreal. That was the
yeah.
two teams that came with that game.
Oh,
Inside the game was a mail away that you had to fill out, put money in, mail away, and that was the original six teams. So you got the other four teams. I can't remember. There was Boston was one of them. Um, there was like a Seals or Gold Seals or something was another team. There was the four
the
other teams.
Penguins. The
Yeah.
Penguins.
So these were the teams that didn't come with the game, but you had to mail away from them. Well, sure enough, on eBay, I separated the four teams, sold them individually, and I
Yeah.
probably got about, I don't know, $300 for them. I don't know, but I
Holy
did get
shit.
that. Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I'm
yeah,
being joined by a dog.
yeah. So yeah, I just got a knack for seeing something and going, that's worth money. You
Yeah.
know, it might be for sale for $5 and I'll pick it up. Uh, we have another collector in the house that one time was collecting trolls. I went
Yeah.
into I went into a vintage store and right away I saw this troll and I went, that's old. Yeah, it's like from the late 60s from England. It was the one of the guards that does Buckingham Palace, and I can just tell by the material and by the looks of it, I went, yeah, that's worth money. So, I got a knack for shit like that.
Yeah. Well, guys, I need to go and tend to dinner at this point.
Yeah.
We're
I'm gonna go
sitting
get you one.
at 5 here.
I missed the chat, but
We're
anybody
thirsty.
that was in chat, I didn't see them. So I appreciate everybody that showed up and listened to me babble.
No, actually,
No, thank you for coming out. That was awesome. Yeah, well, I'll up anytime for history, Ed. If you want to come up, whatever topic is, come
Yeah,
hang out, join the
yeah,
boys. Usually we have Scott here, but next week maybe we'll have Scott.
yeah,
yeah. I know who he is.
Scott does a lot of the show and tell for us. So
Yeah,
you took
he's our
something
British
that
friend.
probably been kind of bland with just Chris and I running off at
Yeah,
the turned it into
yeah,
a last show and tell. So thank you.
Okay.
yeah.
Well,
Hell yeah.
like I said, it was nice meeting you, Jason. I've seen you before, so we
Likewise,
know
Ed.
who we are now. So
Oh yeah,
Indeed.
it's a good time.
Yep.
okay,
So I guess I'm gonna wrap it up.
okay,
Y'all, hope you enjoyed our show and tell toys. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Jason.
Well,
We'll catch you guys soon. I got the Tim Hortons pack opening starting tomorrow. I'm doing packs hockey cards opening, so that would be fun. See if we can put the set together.
cool.
That'll be good. All right, guys. Much love. We'll see you soon. We'll catch you on the next one.
Yes, indeed.
okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.